So, I gave birth to all three of my kids, and with Hillary, I was a single mom until she was 5, and so my mom helped with raising her. I took her to VCU and put her in preschool there. It was a great little preschool. I didn't have a good car, and it broke down, and I couldn't take her to a birthday party that she wanted to go to. I made her a Pocahontas cake. She was into Pocahontas. And then when Jerry came into the picture, we put her in swim lessons, and she learned how to swim. We'd had trouble with that before with her. I actually leased a horse while I was in college. The horse's name was Penny, and Hillary and I would go out there and play with the horse. She liked it. She got on Penny's back. You know, it was kind of an old trail horse. So Jerry had a little bit of money. It wasn't what he said, but we ended up using his retirement, which was scary to me because with the bipolar, it's really hard for me to make a living in the normal sense. And he lied to me about money sometimes, and that would drive me crazy. But he traveled, and when he traveled, I kept the kids, and I went to a barn and early in the morning, and I mucked stalls, and I bought my son Thomas, and then we went up to Pennsylvania and bought a pony for Hillary named Beauty, and I built a barn, and then we did a bunch of 4-H activities, and Hillary was in horse judging. We traveled. Jerry, with his job, we got to travel places. Went to Maine, went to California, went to New Orleans. With kids, Disney. We did the Disney thing. That was after the separation, though. I had been drinking some just so I could kind of not have to sleep with him. And then we moved down to a house closer with my mom. We had a big pig roast. We had lots of people come. Swim team. They started doing swim team. Jerry and my dad talked, and Dad was screaming, and I was 4 months pregnant, and Jerry told me to get an abortion. He said, your dad said that, but then later on my dad said it wasn't him. It was Jerry telling a lie that it was him, but he put it on my dad. So I just couldn't trust him. Couldn't trust what he said. And I did try. I really did try to keep the family together. I took him to counseling. And he said he wouldn't drink in the house, but then he just started sneaking it, and he'd sit at the computer in the evenings just drinking, looking at the screen. My life had to do something. I couldn't do that for the rest of my life. And I thought, would it be better for the kids if I stay and put up with this alcoholic behavior, or would it be better if I left? And I just left. I said, we got to separate. So we bought a house, and we went bankrupt. And Hillary, I guess she was upset. I tried to put her in school in college at VCU or wherever she wanted to go, but she decided to go out to California with her boyfriend Charles. She was 18, and I went out and visited her. My mom and I did, but they decided to have a baby, so she had a baby out there, my grandson Charlie, and then they decided to move back, and then she got pregnant again and had my granddaughter, and that's a lot, that's a lot on her. I bought her another horse. When she outgrew Beauty, she wanted an Arabian, which I was against, but she wanted it, so I got it for her. And she didn't like him. She didn't ride him. We ended up giving him away because he was kind of dangerous. Sometimes I got really angry at Jerry, and it didn't help that I had bipolar, and it probably did scare the kids. And Jerry would act like he would he'd grab them all up like I was gonna. It was just him. It wasn't the kids that I was mad at. But he'd grab the kids up and be like, "Ooh, she's gonna hurt you." But I wasn't going to. I was just mad at him. So to me, they've used these words against me. And I'm like, well, let's go to counseling. Let's talk. But they don't want to do that. they don't want to really find out what's going on. Sure, I'm manic, but that doesn't mean I'm narcissistic. Sometimes I have a hyper ego, grandiose delusion, so to speak. But, and I don't know what this toxic means. I think part of it is that they don't have a dad that has any direction whatsoever. And then my mom died, which doesn't help. And then Jennifer won't talk to them about it because she doesn't want to hurt the relationship that she has with them. But they won't even talk to me. I mean, I gave Morgan $500 to fly in, and I took her out to lunch. And now she's just not talking to me, and she won't tell me why. I kind of had the feeling the kids have ganged up and they're all going, oh, she's toxic, she's narcissistic. And they've got small brains. They're 20s and Hillary's 30. And the grandkids love me. They have no trouble being with me. Charlie, Calista, and of course Valentine's a baby. And I'm good with the dogs. And, you know, she took on all that farm stuff and now she's changed her mind, which I think is probably good. Tying yourself down with a baby can be really tough. And yeah, it's painful every day. I'm like, just talk to me. Let's talk. Let's work it out. You know, I'll go to counseling if you know, I don't think I'm narcissistic, but if I am, let's go talk it out. Let me see if I am, I'll work on it. You know, I'm humble. I'm very humble, and I don't have hubris about that because I've struggled with relationships all my adult life with the bipolar. And I really don't want to lose my children for a reason that's negotiable. I mean, I know they don't really understand that these ties, this family, it's not just something, like maybe because we threw away the marriage, but I was always connected to Jerry. I just couldn't be married to him. I mean, it doesn't end. And being a parent of your children, it doesn't end. It never will. And I guess one reason I continually try to converse with them, people say, oh, just give them some, it's been time. It's been a long time. They've had plenty of time to think about this. And I think they're making a really poor choice about this. And they should know that the love that I have for them is good. I'm not a perfect person. I would never say I was. My mom, I testified against her for abuse because my dad coerced me into it. And it took many, many years to rebuild that relationship. I had to get to, and I'm tough too because she's OCD and I'm like ambient about everything. You know, I'll say stuff that people are like, you shouldn't say that. And you know, now that I'm not so manic, I'm more able to filter out what I say. But I think I am still a little bit different. I mean, I'm an artist, so I guess I'm a little different. But I don't want to hurt them. You know, I sent them presents. I bought them shoes. Like for me, to buy my granddaughter Birkenstocks, and I bought Charlie some shoes that had the Beatles on it. And they were expensive, and she never even called to let me know they got there or that they fit. It's horrible. You don't treat people. I'm not proud of that. But I think it's just because they're blind. I'm not proud of the way they're treating me. And I think maybe the toxic family that they're blaming me on might have included Jerry. And they don't seem to ever want to look at him and say, well, he was drinking. He told lies, you know. He was passive aggressive. He scared mom to death in the car. You know, he was driving so crazy. And because he's passive aggressive, because he's not getting the love he wants, but he can't get the love he wants because he's an alcoholic and he's a liar. That's toxic. And I got out of it. I had to get out of it. I couldn't stay there. But I'm not toxic. I'm just loving. And I don't give gifts as an apology. I give gifts to my children and grandchildren because I think they'll like them. Just because I love them. It's not an apology. It's not trying to be like... And I've asked him, I said, well, you know, you wrote me a whole 2-page letter on what an awful person I am, but you didn't include one good thing. Not one. Hillary didn't. And I sent the letter to my sister for safekeeping. But I guess I'm just tired of this. This is not okay behavior. It's not okay. You don't treat people that way. You don't treat your mom that way. James, Hillary, and Morgan. I'm your mom. I'm your mom, and even if I was doing terrible, you should still call me every once in a while and just check in and let me know that you care for me. That's the kind of human I want to raise. I don't want to raise spoiled kids that think they can just push their parents away or blame their parents on everything. I worked so hard when y'all were kids to feed you, to clothe you, to take you to the dentist, to drive you to school, to drive you to activities, to purchase a horse, to purchase a mini horse for James. I always tried to dress you nicely. And I was dealing with someone that I didn't love. I was not in love with. I may love Jerry with all of his frailties and addiction problems. I love Jerry for that, and I love Jerry for giving me really good sperm for my children, but he was not a good husband. And I am trying as hard as I can to be the best mom I can be. He gave up. He just drank and drank and drank and gave the kids drugs, and that's toxic. That's physically and mentally, spiritually, that's toxic, what was going on at his house. And I went over there, I went to Al-Anon to set limits and do things. Morgan came to live with me. She wasn't happy. I took James to get his guitar, the Thunderbird guitar. I came to hear his band play. I helped him, bought him a bicycle. I paid his rent 1 month. I'm just saying they shouldn't treat me so bad. I don't expect stuff, but whatever's in their brains, and they're using these words, get away from the words. Get rid of the words and deal with the person. Deal with me, your mother. And we can talk about it.